Good morning YouTube, and welcome along to another little garage chat. Today I'm going to talk to you about the brakes. You don't think about them until you need them, and then you think about them a lot. I'm going to cover the general condition of such things as the calipers, the brake fluids and the brake pipes, and any linkages that you might have on your bike, particularly if you have drum brakes. So let's move on down to the bike now and we'll take a closer look. Okay, so this is the caliper on my bike. As you can see, it's a Nissin caliper 2-pot, and basically what there is you have a piston there and there which acts against the brake pads which are inside there, and they grip onto the brake disc here. One of the things you need to do when checking your brakes is to see that the general condition of the disc is in good order. Look out for scratches and scrapes and any deep grooves that might have appeared on there on both sides. Now I can feel that this is really quite smooth and there's no damage that I can see visually anywhere on there. Another thing to check is that the brake disc hasn't warped in any way over the years, and you can do that simply by rotating the wheel and checking that it runs true. You might hear a slight rubbing noise on the brake pads, but that's normal, and I can see that that looks true to me. There doesn't seem to be any distortion. Now on the brake shoes inside the brake caliper there will be a marker to indicate whether or not it's down to its limit, and you can simply find that within the workshop manual or within the instructions on the bike. There is a sighting spot on the caliper which is just underneath there. I've checked mine earlier and I can see that there's plenty of meat on them still for a good few thousand of miles. Another thing to check, of course, is the brake pipes. Just check the general condition of them, make sure that there's no cracking appearing on them anywhere, particularly in these rubber ones, and also make sure that it's not fouling anywhere on the wheel rim or anywhere within the headstock. Now the brakes on my bike are hydraulic, and you can see that this is the hydraulic reservoir. On the top here it gives you details of what sort of brake oil to use, and in this particular case on mine it's DOT4. You'll find that when you buy brake oil it'll be marked on the bottle as to which particular type it is, and it's specific to this bike, so don't try and mix and match. You have a sighting screen just there which gives you an idea as to how full the thing is, and you'll be able to see a bubble within there. Don't know if you can see that, but there is a bubble just there. Indicates that it's quite full, up to the limit at least. Another thing to check is the brake lever for excess play, and that's just about spot on, is that. The clicking you can hear, if you can hear it, is actually the brake light switch which is located underneath there. Okay, so we'll move on to the rear brakes. When the rear brakes are operated, like so, you can see the movement there, and it's very little, but it's enough to operate the rear drum brakes which are housed inside this casing here. Another thing which you may be able to see from this angle, I hope, is that there's an indicator arrow and a marker. When that arrow reaches that marker, it means that the brakes are pretty well worn down and they need replacing. So right, I don't know if you can see it, but this linkage here operates the back brake, as I said earlier, and as you can see it's really quite grubby, so I'm going to get a brush, clean it all out and put a new dab of grease all over that. So let's get ready and get this job done. Now as you can see I've put a piece of cardboard across here just to keep everything clean, so I'm not spreading muck about everywhere. So I'm just going to get a soft brush now and give that a wipe down. got the old grease off. There we go. There we are. That just took a few minutes to do. All fresh grease on there. And of course, in either case, whichever brake lever you operate, it will cause the rear brake light to come on like this. This is the front brake and this is the rear. Of course, one piece of kit you can always get, which I would recommend to anybody, is something along the lines of these Haynes manuals. This particular one is for my model of bike, and it covers just about everything that you need to know on the bike. All the details are very clear, fairly easy steps to follow. It can be quite straightforward, or it could be something quite complicated. Now, what I would recommend you do, that if you don't know what you're doing and you're a bit worried about having a go, then seek professional advice rather than have a bash and perhaps end up with spare parts that weren't there in the first place. Particularly when it comes to brakes, you need them, you rely on them. If you don't know what you're doing with them, the best thing to do is get someone who does. A qualified mechanic will be able to sort them out for you in no time at all. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that little chat and that the information I've given you is of some use to you. And again, I would say seek professional advice if you're not absolutely sure what you're doing. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you found this of some interest. I'll sign off in the usual way by saying look after yourselves and look after the people around you. Till next time, bye for now.